Hey guys, welcome back to What Was Mommy Thinking? This is Crystal, and if you're new here, I want to thank you so much for stopping by our channel. My video today is not what I normally do, but we're doing what we got to do right now. For those of you that are already subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. Today's video, like I said, is going to be a little out of my ordinary. I made dinner today, and my full intention was to show you guys what I made for dinner. And complete operator failure because, yeah, I don't even know what I was doing. Anyways, there's no footage. We're just going to leave that one up to the imagination. So what I decided to do was to do a little compilation of a few of our favorite recipes. I know everybody for 2021 is gearing up to watch their budget and eat more at home, and they're looking for family-friendly, budget-friendly meals. So since that sort of is my bag of tricks, and that's something that I do all the time anyways, I thought I'd share a few of my favorites and get your guys' feedback on what you think of this kind of content, and if you want to see more of this type of content going into 2021. And I thought I'd include some price breakdowns for you just to keep it on that budget-friendly side. So if that sounds like it interests you, please stick around. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed. And let's go through 3 of my family's absolute favorites. Okay, so the first recipe that we're going to go over is one of my family's all-time favorites. It's slow cooker chicken cacciatore. Do not let this recipe intimidate you or this meal intimidate you. This is a super easy, freaking delicious kind of meal, right? So let's go through these ingredients really quick. You're going to need 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, or about a pound, pound and a quarter, 12 to 16 ounces of your favorite marinara sauce. I tend to go on the more sauce side because my kids like to dip bread into it. You're going to need 3 to 4 ounces of tomato paste, a half of a green bell pepper, a half of a yellow onion, 1 to 2, and again I go towards the 2 teaspoons of basil pesto or fresh basil leaves. My family likes the pesto better than the basil leaves, so that's what you'll see here in mine. 8 ounces of fresh mushrooms, sliced, diced, cubed, however you like them. A 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and you can leave this out if your family's not so keen on the whole spicy part. 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 2 to 3 cloves of minced garlic, and because I'm Italian and because I overdo, well, you know, pretty much everything, I go above and beyond that 2 to 3 cloves. I typically add in about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. And then your black pepper and salt to taste, but again, you won't see salt in any of the stuff that I'm making because of the dietary restrictions that my son has for his cardiac condition. And then you're going to need 4 ounces of tomato sauce. Okay, in this picture, we're just going to take a look at some of the products that I chose. I go with whatever canned goods that I find that are no salt added and are at the lowest price that I can possibly get. So you're going to see here, I've got my mushrooms, my peppers, and my onions chopped up. And I just do a rough chop because it cooks so long in the slow cooker. It doesn't need to be fine, or otherwise it gets really mushy and my kids won't like it. And then you see my spices there in the background. And that marinara sauce is from Sprouts. If you have a Sprouts near you, they make a brand of their own pasta sauce that has no salt added. So this meal comes out very, very, very sodium friendly. The item with the most sodium in it is the jarred pesto. All right, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of marinara on the bottom of the slow cooker. If you're using a crockpot liner, you don't necessarily have to spray it. I did. If you're not using a crockpot liner, you're probably going to want to give this a good coating of spray. So you put that marinara on the bottom of the slow cooker, put your chicken in on top of it, and as you can see here, mine wasn't even completely thawed, and it still turns out fantastic. Once you've got that chicken in there, go ahead and slather on a layer of that pesto if you're using it. All right, so once you get that pesto on the chicken, then you're just going to want to go ahead and throw in your marinara sauce, your bell peppers, your onions, your mushroom, your garlic, and all of your seasonings. And you can put that in any order that you want to. I sort of just tend to dump mine in, and then you're ready to put the lid on. Once you get that lid on nice and tight, then you're going to want to cook it on low for anywhere from 5 to 6 hours or 2 to 3 hours on high. Because my chicken breasts were still a little bit frozen, I did increase that time just a little bit, and I cooked mine on low for about 6.5, almost 7 hours. And there it is, guys, all plated up. Serve it with some oiled or buttered pasta with pepper on it, some garlic bread, and a salad on the side. And you are going to absolutely love this recipe. So let's talk about cost breakdown, right? So what you'll see here is the ingredients in the left column, the price per unit, which is the size that you could actually purchase it in at the store, how much you're going to need, and what that total cost was. And the way that I break the costs down is if you need to buy a box of pasta, but you're only going to use half of it, I give you the total price for the whole box of pasta. And then in parentheses, I put what you're actually going to be using. So you'll have product left over you can use in another meal. And I did this price comparison back in April, but before I did this video, I absolutely went through and I rechecked every single one of the prices, and we're still good to go. So what this ends up being is about $8.33 to make one batch of the recipe, and that comes out to about $2 per serving, and it is fantastic. So I did go ahead and include the box of pasta in this when I did the breakdown so that you'd have the full plate of food, but I did not include the salad. That would be something extra. But the dinner itself, which is the chicken cacciatore and the pasta, came out to about $2.08 per serving. Okay, guys, the next meal is something that I actually made for dinner tonight. It is Hashbrown Casserole, and I've seen it on a couple of people's chats and messages lately. This is something my family has been loving for, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many years. I've been making it for a little over 16 years, if that tells you anything at all. So all you're going to need are 32 ounces of frozen hash browns, 3/4 cup of melted butter, a can of cream of chicken soup, 12 ounces of shredded cheese, 8 ounces of sour cream, a teaspoon of salt, which I leave out, a teaspoon of dried minced onions, and then for the topping, you'll need 1.5 to 2 cups of crushed cornflakes and a 1/4 cup of melted butter. My cast of characters is pretty plain, guys. I used the gluten-free cream of chicken, Walmart brand cream of chicken soup. Any type of shredded cheese you can use, cheddar, Colby Jack, whatever you've got. I use the Kroger brand Southern style hash browns because they are lower sodium than anybody else's brand I've been able to find. Unsalted butter, the Kroger or Walmart brand of cornflakes, the minced onion, and whatever sour cream that I've got on hand. The first thing you want to do is grease the pan with cooking spray or butter or whatever it is you want to use, and go ahead and layer those potatoes in that pan in a nice even layer. Then you want to go ahead and mix the next 6 ingredients in a bowl. I kind of cheat. I melt my butter in the microwave. I don't get it like boiling hot, but I get it hot enough that it's melted. And then I add the other 5 ingredients and mix it up so it makes what you see here. And then you just want to put that in dollops all over those frozen hash browns and use a spatula to smooth that out as smooth as you can. Then you want to put a nice even layer of cornflakes over the top of that. You can crush it if you want to. I tend to leave mine whole. And you want to melt that butter that was in the little cup there, and you're going to drizzle that over the top of those cornflakes and try and get it kind of everywhere because that's what's going to give you that nice crisp crust. Then you're going to pop that baby in a preheated 375-degree oven and let it do its magic, because let me just tell you, this is heaven in a pan. You're going to cook it for 45 minutes at 375. When it comes out, it's going to have this nice golden crust to the top of it. And you guys, you can mix this up any way you want. You can add veggies, you can add diced ham, you can add breakfast sausage and make it a breakfast casserole. The possibilities are endless on how you can switch this up. You could do diced chicken, whatever you've got. You got leftover rotisserie chicken, anything like that goes great with this. And you can serve it as a main dish, or you can serve it as a side. And here is me scooping a little bit of it out of the pan so you can kind of see how it meshes all together and gets all ooey gooey and sinful. And you can see right there at the top, I added some diced ham to this one. My son had some low sodium ham left that was probably going to go bad in the next couple of days. So I diced that up and put that in there, and it was incredible. We love this. My kids get super excited every time that I say I'm going to make it. All right, so let's look at that cost breakdown. Again, I did it the same sort of way. I put the item, what quantity you could buy it in, how much of it you're going to need, what your total cost will be at the store, and what the cost of the amount of those items you're actually using would be. So the way that this all works out is that it would cost you $11.78 if you had to buy every ingredient that goes into this casserole. And you would use $7.40 of that, of those products, that amount worth. And it comes out to 93 cents per serving. And this is without any added ham or veggies to it. But 93 cents per serving is a phenomenal deal in my book. All right, guys, last but not least, and my kids would probably tell you I have definitely saved the best for last, is the homemade pizza dough recipe from a cookbook called Seriously Good Freezer Meals by Carrie Truman. I've shown this cookbook on my channel before, and it is my holy grail. You can make this in a bread machine. You can make this in your mixer. I've done both. I haven't tried doing it without either of those, but this recipe freezes beautifully, and when you're ready to take it out of the freezer to use it, you literally let it sit on the counter in the Ziploc bag it's in, and as it thaws, it rises. So all you have to do is punch it down, roll it out, and put your toppings on it. So let's go through the ingredients really quick. 2 cups of warm water, somewhere between 105 and 112 degrees works well. 1/4 cup of honey, a tablespoon of quick rising yeast, 5 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of salt that I leave out, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. Okay, guys, so the way that you make this, if you have a stand mixer, is you want to put the dough hook attachment on it and take your warm water, your honey and your yeast, and stick it in the bowl, turn it on low for just a few seconds until it combines those ingredients, and then turn it off and leave it alone for about 10 minutes. And then once you start to see it bubble up, that means the yeast is working, and that's 10 minutes. Sometimes mine takes all the way up to around 11 or 12. You're going to want to add the flour, the salt, the onion powder, the garlic powder to the bowl and turn on your mixer. And please start at the lowest setting until some of that flour gets incorporated, or you're going to be wearing it. So once you do that and it gets combined, you can increase the speed and turn it to a medium to medium high speed so that your dough hook can actually knead it for 7 minutes. Once you get to that point, you want to start adding just a couple tablespoons or so of flour at a time until the dough comes away from the sides of the bowl but still sticks to the bottom. Once you've got that done, the dough is ready to come on out of the bowl. So you're going to want to grab 2 bowls, glass bowls, plastic bowls, doesn't even matter. You're going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil into each of those bowls and divide that dough in half and stick half of it in each of those bowls. I weigh mine on a little food scale that we have, and then I pull it apart and make sure that I've got pretty equal halves. Stick it in the bowl. You can cover it with saran wrap that you've sprayed with cooking spray, or you can put a tea towel or something over it. And you're going to want to put it in a warm place and let it rise for 45 minutes or until it's doubled, and it will rise, let me tell you. And then while it's rising, go ahead and preheat. Don't preheat your oven, that'd be nasty. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 500 degrees. At the end of that 45 minutes, when you take that saran wrap off, it usually goes ahead and punches the dough down. If that doesn't do it, when you go to take it out of the bowl, it'll punch down. I turn mine out onto a little piece of floured parchment paper. You use your hands to kind of make it the size that you want. And as you'll see in the picture, my kids like more crust than they do toppings. So I do about a 14-inch press out. You could go out to a 16-inch. You would just have a little less crust on the edges. Either one cooks perfectly and beautifully. You can put a little bit of cooking spray on your fingers or olive oil to make the pressing go easier. Then you're going to want to put your marinara, any toppings that you want, and put your cheese on it. It goes in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes, and when it comes out, you just want to let it cool for a couple minutes before you cut it and serve it. And there's the goodness. I mean, would you just look at it? I'm just kidding. So my kids like flavored crust. We put a little bit of infused oil on the crust and sprinkle that with garlic powder or Parmesan cheese or whatever it is that they're feeling in the mood for that day. Serve it with a salad on the side, and you are good to go. Are you ready for the best part? Let's talk about that best part. The best part is that It's so cheap to make this, guys. I put the price breakdown for you, but you can get 5 pounds of flour, a jar of or a bottle of honey, and all these other things. You get all of these ingredients for $12.86, but it's only going to cost you $4.95 worth of that product to make 2 large pizzas. I did the serving size based on 2 slices for 1 serving because this makes 16 good size slices of pizza. But I did this as 8 servings for $4.95, comes out to 62 cents for 2 slices of some of the best darn pizza you've ever put in your mouth. So that being said, guys, I think this is a phenomenal recipe. It's freezer stable. It's super easy to use once it comes out of the freezer, and it is a low cost, and it makes everybody happy, happy, happy. So that being said, that is it for me for today, guys. I just wanted to share these few meals with you guys and let you know what some of our favorites are. Please let me know in the comments below if this is something that you'd like to see more of. If you want to see more cost breakdowns for meals, if that helps you any with your meal planning and menu planning, I would love to share these types of ideas with you guys because this is something that I do every week anyway. So I hope that you're having an amazing day. I hope that you are super ready for Santa Claus to come tonight because he is coming. And it's going to be a great day. I will see all of you tomorrow in the video. And until then, take care, be well, and know that you are loved. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.